Branding tips and methods for small and medium-sized businesses. Operating your own business forces you to wear many different hats at once. You may not consider it a critical issue to come up with a branding strategy. Even if brand creation has never crossed your mind, it's definitely worth thinking about. Your brand is what separates you from the competition and makes your business instantly recognizable. If you succeed with creating a great brand, then the hard part is done. After this, it's mainly about managing your brand and increasing its visibility. When you have a brand, you always have to care what others are saying about it. This can be done with tools such as Google Alerts. Branding your business can be a fairly straightforward process, especially if you keep the following tips in mind. Multinational companies understand that their brand name is of the utmost importance, which is why they spend so much money on building and maintaining their brands. They spend huge sums because they view branding as an investment in their business. The fact is, even the smallest businesses should understand that the same principle applies to them. Fortunately, there are now many tools and resources for branding that don't cost a great deal to utilize. Look into inexpensive and even free ways to brand yourself. Don't assume that because a method is inexpensive that it's ineffective. In order to be successful with low-cost branding strategies, however, you have to be willing to put in some time and effort. If you're creating a brand for a new business, you should realize that it will take some time and you'll have to use several methods. Once you succeed at branding your company, you will have crossed a major boundary. While many brands are based on a certain specific benefit of the product, this isn't necessarily the case. A brand can also become popular for reasons that have little or nothing to do with the products the company sells. Products can be branded in ways that make people feel a certain way, or that bring up memories or images. The marketers in such cases succeed in getting people to connect the spirit with the product being sold. This type of branding requires you to create a definite connection between your product or business and a desirable feeling, idea, or image. Brand management has a lot to do with keeping track of your brand's popularity and what's being said about it. If your brand is being discussed in a negative way, you have to be prepared to jump in and defend it. Google Alerts is an essential tool to help you watch the internet for any comments about your brand. On the other hand, Google isn't the only source of information on the internet, so you should also go beyond this. Find out what other sites and services can alert you to certain search terms coming up. If your company is big enough, you might even assign one person the responsibility of searching for your brand name regularly to see what comes up. The more often searches are performed, the faster you'll find out about any unwanted comments that appear online. Creating a brand takes time and effort, but it's one of the most important missions your company will ever undertake. Don't expect to build your brand overnight, as this is a gradual and painstaking process. Once your brand is well known, you still have to constantly manage it and keep it in the limelight. Staying alert to your brand's reputation is important, as otherwise people might regard you in ways that are not in your best interest.